never done anything live before.
Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer. This is your 6th episode of Peace Talk, where I profile YouTube astrologers and other YouTube personalities. And this episode, we have Petty Astrology. How you doing?
I'm doing good. A little bit nervous.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I thank you so much for having me. I actually found out about Petty from this one dude who made a Sun in the 10th House video for a competition to get a free reading. So I had to hop on a competition myself. That was inspiration behind the Sun in the 1st House video. And yeah, her videos are really insightful and informative. And apparently you work with Alyssa Sharp too, right?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, we don't live near each other, so it does make it a little bit difficult. We can only really talk over Skype, and sometimes we just message on Facebook, but we always exchange ideas and plan things together.
Nice, nice, nice. So I guess this is usually how I start off most interviews. What really got you into this world of astrology, or rather like metaphysics in this area? But yeah, basically astrology.
Well, I've always been very skeptical, hesitant to believe things, and especially since I'm a Leo and my sister is also a Leo, and my sister and I, we seemed like opposites. Like we felt like we were opposites, and we didn't get along a lot of times, so we didn't want to admit that we were like each other. So that was part of the reason why her and I, growing up, never believed in astrology. Whenever I looked at the descriptions for Leo, I'm like, this sounds like some kind of like pompous, popular person who's like full of himself. So I never related to that. So I did not believe in astrology at all until I started dating my husband. Because one of the first things he asked me was what my sun sign was, and he was like talking about how he's a Cancer and all of that. And I'm just like, well, I don't really believe in that, but, you know, I like this guy, so I'll humor him. And it started very slowly. Like, at first, I'm just, like, I didn't really care about astrology, but then I started actually paying attention to it and seeing that people did kind of match their sun signs. But then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm a Leo, then why am I such a weirdo outcast? So I had to figure that out. Like, I started trying to look for it. And as soon as I found the natal chart and like I saw that I was a Virgo rising and I felt like it explained so much, I became obsessed with it. And I would like stay up all night, like researching as much as I possibly could and just like not sleeping until I like passed the fuck out.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I could definitely relate with that. Like, just spending all night learning and learning more to fill in these puzzle pieces of who you are and whatnot. Yeah. And yeah, fast forward, now you got an awesome YouTube channel where people can learn more about themselves too, which is awesome. So were you also going, are you also moving right now or in the middle of a move?
How did you know? Like I haven't told you. Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
How's that going for you?
Well, we're still just like looking for a different apartment to have a more reliable internet connection. That's really the only reason why we're moving.
Okay.
And it's going good so far. There's a lot of nice places here.
Nice, nice. That's what's up. And where are you at actually?
Virginia. So we're on opposite sides of the country, so I'm sorry for making you wake up so early.
It's all
Completely
good.
different time zones.
I'm used to waking up early now. Saturday's in my 6th, so I have to like spruce up my routine, even though I don't want to. But it's gonna be worth it in the end. Yeah. So, how did you meet up with Alyssa? And what, in your opinion, is how do you feel like you two working together has like helped the community and each other?
Well, I actually met Alyssa. If you want to see for yourself how I met her, there's a video of that on my channel, and that was when she asked people to do an astrology tag about themselves. So that was the first time she had ever really seen my face on video or anything. And then I ended up meeting her in person when I was visiting my family in Texas. Like, I wasn't some kind of crazy stalker who just like hunted her down. It's just like, I was going to Texas anyway, so yeah, we met in person there. We became friends because we actually discovered that we were both pregnant. Like, she discovered a little bit before me, obviously, because her son was born like 3 months earlier than my daughter. But that was kind of like our bonding thing, I guess. And the way I think it helped was because I pretty much consider myself to be Alicia Sharp's biggest fan. So I kind of like represent her fan base a little bit, and I'm kind of in tune with what they want from her and from this community as a whole, as it's like really growing into something, I guess.
Interesting. That's very interesting. And how would you say, as a Leo with a Virgo rising, because you are my second Leo guest, which makes me even more honored. I really love Leo energy. But how would you say, as a Leo, you kind of express your ideas through your videos? How does, especially with the Virgo rising, how does it flavor the information you give?
My Leo sun sign is very much hidden, especially in the way I do my videos. Like, it's always in the back of my head, but the Leo side is kind of the one thing that I never actually give people on video, even though, you know, I've let my mane down and people are starting to see my Leo side a little bit more. Because to me, a Leo who does astrology, like, really wants to embrace who people are, because the ego is so important to us, and we understand that people want to feel important. But me having like such a challenged ego, having oppositions to my sun and also having it in the 12th house, like, I don't want to devalue that that sort of flattery. I don't want to just flatter the general population. I would rather flatter people as individuals and acknowledge them as being special only when I look at their chart. Like, if I'm talking about a general placement, I'm going to make it very general, and I won't be as flattering in those videos. And I think that's something that people have sort of resented me for, because I know my fellow fire signs, especially, they really want that. They want me to just say all these awesome, wonderful things about them, and then I intentionally say horrible things about them.
Yay!
So I know I kind of,
no joke.
Yeah, I kind of betrayed them in a sense, but it's not because I hate them by any means. You know, it's because I understand them, and I want to just really help people identify their flaws and accept them, rather than trying to lie about them and hide them, and then include that in embracing who we are, and not just have to focus on the good things at one time and focus on the bad things at another time. It needs to come together.
Nice and practical, true to your Virgo rising. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. I have been meeting a lot of 12th house Leo suns as of late. Kind of all speaking on the same. I mean, it seems like a problem at first, but I think it's pretty beautiful. Like, to have that part of you hidden, I guess, because I'm sure it comes out when you're by yourself, like in all its Leo glory.
Yeah, that's the way it usually was when I was growing up. I liked to spend a lot of time alone, and even when I didn't want to spend time alone, I would end up spending time alone when I didn't want it. And then when I wanted to be with someone else's attention, then I didn't get that either. It was always just that I was getting the thing that I didn't want. Because it's like such a contradictory placement, and I mean, it's one of those things. That's why I didn't believe in astrology for all those years. I also like to think of it as, since the 12th house is water, it's a water house, and then Leo is fire. It's like you're putting fire under water, and then the fire goes out, but it's still there somehow.
That's true. Like just illuminating the deep sea in a way. I mean, it is surprising. Because
Like,
I've always wanted.
oh, sorry. It's like one of those weird fish with that live like in the twilight zone of the ocean that have like the little weird ass lights.
Oh, like coming from their head, like the lantern things.
Yeah, all of them have like these weird illuminations because there's no light under there. Anyway.
That's interesting. It's funny because I've been wondering. I see this theme between Leo and Pisces. Like those two signs always pop up at me, and I see that manifests like people with Leo suns and Pisces houses, or a Leo and a Pisces hanging out together and whatnot. What do you feel about those two energies combined?
Well, what they both have in common is they're very creative, and Pisces is more creative in the imaginative, loony sense, and Leo, I don't think Leo is like genuine creativity, to be honest. It's more just a sincere desire to express yourself and to get whatever is in your heart out. But then Pisces is the one that's like really loony and comes up with the off-the-wall stuff. So, I mean, when you combine those, it can be a very creative combination. Despite the fact that I'm a Virgo rising and I don't feel like I'm creative, I'm going to admit that I am kind of creative.
Well, Virgo is my 5th house, so I always see all the creative parts of a Virgo instead of all the dry parts. Yeah, I get the best of both worlds right there. Normally, Virgo would irritate my Gemini, but I have so much Capricorn and Taurus, it's like, yay, Virgo.
Mm-hmm. I think Taurus risings, well, Virgo risings really benefit from being around Taurus risings, in my perspective, because Taurus is like the earth sign that's all relaxed and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Virgo can be more like nervous energy, because it's ruled by Mercury, and like not knowing how to communicate. And they need help relaxing, because a lot of times they're workaholics too.
No, that's true. I have a very good friend who's a Virgo rising. When I did that side reel and first tropical video, the guest I had was a Taurus with a Virgo rising. He says the same stuff. Like he does have nervous energy that just comes as virtue of him being a Virgo rising, and his Mars and Mercury in the 8th house in Aries, so he's always like moving and fidgety. But I get along really well with Virgo rising people. They kind of like balance out because I could just be really like peaceful, but
lazy
just fixed in a place. Yeah, oh yeah, just sit down and we'll move if people are trying to like move and do something. So
yeah, I know. My husband is a Taurus rising, and I'm always just like trying to push him to like get off the couch and like go do something. And like sometimes I'm really annoying, I swear.
That's interesting. So, how long have you been studying astrology?
It seems like I've been studying it forever because I'm so obsessive, but I haven't been studying it for that long. I started studying it like 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, same.
Not very long.
Nice. That's what I love about these. Like I'm noticing all the people who I have on this episodes, our guests, have been studying it for the same amount of time. Like, or a whole bunch of X-Men who are coming together.
If we're the X-Men, then I want to be Jean Grey. I I'm Jean Grey, okay, everybody?
Cool. You've heard it now. We have Jean Grey called dibs already.
Yeah. Just try to make sure I don't go all crazy and turn into the Dark Phoenix.
Oh gosh, that'd be crazy. You'd have to evacuate because she's not nothing that mess with. So, interestingly enough, is astrology the only thing you're focusing on right now? Or are there any other areas of study or interests that occupy?
I am definitely focusing on more than just astrology. Like, I have a little bit of a short attention span, and it's only through my addiction to astrology that I have stuck with it. I studied palmistry a little bit. I've wish I had more people who lived here who would let me look at their palms. So that's why I haven't gotten that into palmistry, but I've been reading so much. I have this big book about the numerology of letters, like big, big ass book. And yeah, I've just been so in depth with that lately.
Nice.
So I guess that's pretty much it for now, unless you want to talk about my World of Warcraft obsession as well.
You like World of Warcraft? Interesting.
Yeah, it's my first addiction.
All right. Interesting. How long have you been playing that?
I started playing, I think, when I was 15. So, I mean, I stopped playing for a long time, and I recently came back. But that was 6 years ago that I first started playing.
Mm. Have you ever seen a South Park episode on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not true in a literal sense, but it definitely feels true. It feels like that's what we're doing. We're just like sitting there, and like whenever I look in the mirror after playing WoW, my eyes are red, and I'm just like, oh god.
Putting in hours and work. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I can never play for just a little bit at a time. Like I pretty much I'll work like 6 days a week, and then I'll have one day when I play WoW, and I'll play like all day.
Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. So, my guilty pleasure is Super Smash Bros., but I need to get another console so I can start playing that again. What do you feel is the best way to really approach talking to people about astrology? I mean, it's really simple. They usually get skeptical at first, and then you read their chart, and then they're like, "Oh wow, like this is actually real." But like, what's a good way to like talk to people and raise awareness of it?
I think you're asking the wrong person. I'm still going to try to answer it, but if you're trying to ask me how to approach people and how to talk to them, like you could not pick a worse candidate, because I am so awkward.
Oh wow.
How I usually go about it though. I mention it to him once, okay, just like once, and then I forget about it. I don't mention it to him again for like weeks or whatever. I just let it sit in the back of their head, and it'll creep up on them again eventually. And then maybe I mention it to them again, and I wait till they become curious about it.
Okay.
And if they want to ask me more about it, that's when I talk about it. So I guess I kind of have that like bait technique with like the glowfish or whatever it's called. Again, with that metaphor.
All right. That's your star right there. It works for you. Interesting. I like that whole approach of baiting it in and then them remembering, oh wait, she talked to me about this. I need to go back and ask some more. I definitely, it's pretty easy here because a lot of people are just naturally open to it. So if I mention it, chances are they already know their rising and moon sign, which I'm so
really?
used to. Yeah.
California, right?
What happened?
You're in California, right?
Yeah.
I should move there.
It's a trip. Like they'll be like, yeah, my rising sign is this, and my moon is that. I'm like, oh, you know your rising sign? Oh my gosh! And it just goes out from there.
Oh man.
So, do you feel like maybe in 10, 20 years from now, like it'll be more talked about to where like people in high school already know their charts and talk about the transits of the day, like new episodes of Glee or something?
Yeah, definitely, especially since there are people like Alyssa Sharp who attract young people and bait them into astrology. Yeah, I think that'll happen. I think we're moving in that direction, and with social media being as awesome as it is in this day and age, and us being able to communicate things so fast and spread ideas, it'll definitely happen.
How do you feel the Pluto and Sagittarius generation will take what we're doing and move forward as far as and even not only about astrology, like how do you feel like they're going to change our generation and interact with us, Pluto and Scorpios? How do you think that'll be? Would it be more like us and Pluto and Virgo, where we're kind of clashing? Not necessarily 100% clash, because we do identify with some things, but how do you feel it'd be different?
Well, Sagittarius pretty much has a more optimistic and bubbly approach to all of these hard, nasty truths that Scorpio dug up and brought into the daylight. And at first, that can be a little bit insulting to us that have Pluto and Scorpio, I think. And we can get annoyed with them and be like, why are you so happy about this? Like, you don't understand how bad it is and, like, the intensity of the situation. And you're just, like, flaunting it around all happy with your beliefs. And everything that you got from our hard research and search for the truth. So I think at first we resent that, but it is good to have a more optimistic approach because that's just more appealing to people. Like the way Pluto and Scorpio is, it can seem like a little bit nasty. Like we don't make things seem like something people want to hear about. And I think maybe other generations that don't have Pluto and Scorpio, they're just looking at us and they're like, okay, you guys need to shut up because you're just like talking about all this stuff that we don't want to hear about. Because Scorpio can be very rejected in that way. Like Scorpio brings up all the stuff that people don't want to deal with.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, so I think they're going to essentially help us with what we want, even though we resent them at first.
Yeah, I can kind of see that with Pluto and Capricorn generation too. As far as, only I guess they probably get it. Your daughter is part of that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, since my daughter was born with Pluto and Capricorn, like that's really important for me to think about because Capricorn is the sign that takes all the weight and the hard work and stuff. It is more mature than it needs to be, grows up too fast, and right now my daughter's just a baby, so I really don't want to put too much pressure on her, even though I'm sure we'll all appreciate the structure that Capricorn has to offer and them like really working hard to turn this into something.
Yeah, I feel like all that stuff we dug up, they'll be able to put it into concrete forms, you know, have like legit Reiki institutions when they're of age and whatnot. That'd be really interesting. Especially since all this intense energy is being bridged while Pluto's in Capricorn. But, oh yes, we're going to play a few games really quick, but before that, I did notice you mentioned that in my chart I had a mystic rectangle. What is a mystic rectangle for those who want to be enlightened to different kind of angles in charts?
Well, a mystic rectangle is a blue rectangle with a red X in the middle. So if you see that shape in your chart, then you have a mystic rectangle. And what it means, having those nice aspects around those hard oppositions, to me it seems kind of like glass. Like it can feel like a fragile situation, and then when it breaks, it can feel like all hell kind of breaks loose. You know, depending on where you have this mystic rectangle, it could be in a relationship that you have a mystic rectangle. Like for you, it could, it is in your natal chart. In transit, it kind of has the same situation. So when you try to like tiptoe around these problems, like they're eventually gonna bite you in the booty.
Instead of just addressing them.
Yeah, do you relate to that?
Yeah, in a way I definitely do. Like, I definitely don't have the luxury to just tiptoe around them. Like I do, but then I always end up having to face it. And almost deeper too. Like the way I get flung back to the issue is more intense than if I just handle it on the spot. Well, how do you feel it works in my case for where Venus in the 12th, bridging to the 8th, sits in the second house? What kind of tension would that be?
Well, I really only took a glance at your chart. I think I would have to think about it a little bit more, but for you, it's definitely affecting your relationships and your romantic sort of feelings that you have about people, and I can relate to a lot of those aspects you have with Venus being in the 12th, which I have, and also trine Neptune and Uranus, which I also have. I mean, it can make you kind of an idiot when it comes to love.
Yeah.
I have the same shit.
Yeah, someone who understands.
Yeah, so I mean that's something you can't tiptoe around, and what you'd have to face is more of like the sort of power struggle and the trust issues that you have when it comes to love and relationships. Then your moon is involved too, so maybe I'll talk more about that in a sec. I don't want to get too far into it right now.
All right, thank you. That's very accurate so far, so looking forward to that. Well, as far as these games, well, a couple of games, what I normally do is we'll take turns asking each other 3 questions. And before that, though, I'd like to know what are your 3 favorite zodiac signs and the 3 signs that give you the most challenge. Not the ones you really hate the most, but the ones that challenge you the most. And they don't have to be like zodiac sun signs. They could be energies too. Like your favorite is Mars and Cancer, that energy, or it could be Sun and Cancer.
Okay. I obviously really love Sun and Cancer, and I would say Cancer is my ultimate favorite sign because it's just so nice and caring, and I feel like I haven't gotten enough of that in my life, which you can probably relate to considering your moon's also in Capricorn, conjunct Saturn, which mine isn't, but yours is.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Cancer, specifically Sun in Cancer, but I'm loving this Jupiter in Cancer that's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it also amplified the negative traits of Cancer, like it's just brought so many nice things, I feel like, and more people having babies and becoming mothers, like for the first time, some of them having, their second child or whatever number. And it's just been an amazing thing, even though it's also been more hormonal, moody, pregnant women running around all crazily. But I love Cancer. I just love Cancer so much. Second favorite, I kind of want to say Scorpio. My daughter is a Scorpio, and I love Scorpios. Like, they're awesome, but I do know they can have a very nasty side as well if you're not careful about that. And also, Leo, because I am one. I have that self-love, I just can't deny it.
Yeah.
So I guess those are my 3 favorite. Like, I don't know, it's really hard to pick favorites, but off the top of my head, those are the 3 that come to mind first.
Okay.
Least favorite. My first least favorite is Capricorn. Not because I don't like Capricorn people. Like, I love Capricorn people. I don't have anything bad to say about Capricorn people. It's just the Capricorn energy itself, being so insensitive, making your life difficult, putting so much pressure on you. And if you are a Capricorn, if you have any planets in Capricorn, you know what that feels like. So it's not that you should hate yourself. It's not that I hate you. It's just that Capricorn is a difficult sign to deal with.
Oh, yes.
Oh God, I don't know which other ones to say. Okay, I guess I have to say Taurus, and I know I just put out my video about advice to Taurus, and my mom's a Taurus, my husband's a Taurus rising. Like, I obviously want to surround myself with these, like, cow people. So I obviously do like them. They're like a warm, snuggly blanket, like much like Cancer is. But they're just so stubborn, and they think it's okay to always stay in your comfort zone and not really care about other people bothering you about things. So that drives not just me, but I want to say it drives many, many people crazy. Their least favorite, I'm just going to go all earth signs here and say Virgo is my least favorite. So I know I sound a little bit deprecating here, but I at least said I liked Leo, okay? Because for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a Virgo rising with Sun in Leo and Moon in Capricorn.
Oh, you also have Moon in Cap.
Yeah. So I do like the Virgo and Capricorn side of myself. Like, obviously they're great. They make me practical, reliable, hardworking, but I know it's just like very uncomfortable to deal with. And to me, Virgo...
And dry.
Yeah. I am such a boring person most of the time. Like, people like never want anything to do with me in real life, and I'm not trying to like sound all sad and mopey about it, but people are just like, wow, that chick's boring, like I'm gonna go talk to someone else. But yeah, to me, Virgo partially represents reality, and reality is boring. I would rather be on that crazy Pisces end of things, to be honest, than in reality doing my laundry and eating healthy and just all that boring Virgo stuff. But I mean, I do think Virgo has a very amazing quality. I've seen some people with their sun in Virgo who I just really admire so much, and especially Moon in Virgo. That is an awesome placement. Like, sometimes people who have Moon in Virgo seem like they just don't have anything under control, and they're not planning anything, and they're just like being weird and stuff. Like Christopher Columbus, like what the heck was he doing, like sailing across the ocean? Like, but he did manage to find this continent, even though he seemed like he didn't really have a good plan to a lot of people. And it's that deep down perfectionism and attention to detail. I can't deny that I admire that because, you know, I'm part Virgo too.
That's awesome. I don't know a lot of Moon and Virgos, but all the ones I know are very significant in my life. Interestingly, my dad actually has that placement. I noticed Alyssa actually has a Pisces rising. So would you say your Virgo rising really does balance each other out?
Yeah, and like opposite signs are difficult to deal with, but they are always like two same sides of the opposite coin. And I do have that struggle, especially having Sun in the house of Pisces, so I do have sort of a Pisces influence. You know, a lot of times I don't want to spend time in reality. I just want to like slack off all the time. But I know that I have to be dedicated and hardworking and do all this boring crap every day. But, you know, I try to learn from my opposite, and I try to learn from the way Alyssa does things, because she's obviously very successful. I mean, she has, like, last time I checked, it was 22,000 YouTube subscribers. Yeah, I mean, she's made it so far, and she's accomplished so much. So even if that's a little bit confusing to my very Virgo nature, I obviously know her methods work.
Interesting. So, okay, this is where we play this 3-question game. Would you like to start this time?
What was that?
As far as the game goes, we ask each other questions. I usually keep it zodiac theme, but it can be any questions you want to ask.
Okay, any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll start with I'll start with the kind of question you did with Alyssa, because I watched that interview. Would you rather be killed slowly by a Cancer?
Oh God.
Or murdered unexpectedly by a Scorpio?
Oh wow, that I totally want to get murdered unexpectedly because my Uranus is in the eighth house, so
Oh
it'd be
yeah, that
nice and
sounds like
quick.
it's fun. Just like, oh, kill me, exciting.
But it'd be by a Scorpio, so they know how to make it. If they're gonna murder me unexpectedly, they planned it, and they'd want their revenge. So they wouldn't want me to just die like quickly and suddenly. It'd probably be
Yeah.
like unexpected torture slash death. But then if I'm getting killed slowly by cancer, it'd be worse. I couldn't. I mean, Scorpio is known for their like, you know, bad rap, but I would rather piss off a Scorpio than a Cancer because Cancer angry at you. It's just like, yeah, especially killing you slowly. They don't know exactly how to. I'd have to go with the Scorpio one, which is like even hard to fathom. But oh well. I totally would not see that coming too if it was my Scorpio. So that's for sure.
I used
So
to, um, I used to have a pet scorpion, and when you were talking, I just kept thinking of the way she would just like rip off the limbs of her food like one by one.
oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
My sister's a Scorpio. She sometimes does that too. Like she'll pick the food. And my other sister's a Cancer. She'd be so grossed out by that. Like,
Oh yeah. So you know how horrible they both can be.
oh yeah, especially when they argue, like just pull out the popcorn and just
Yeah.
start. So, what two zodiac signs do you feel make the best combo? I know it really determines. I mean, I know it's better to know like their Venus and their Mars, but which two sun sign combos do you feel work the greatest together romantically or partnership?
My answer to this is pretty funny. I'm gonna say Pisces and Virgo, and I hate seeing Pisces and Virgo together because I just feel like they're just so back and forth. The Pisces is like, oh, I'm just like, whoa, I don't know what's going on, and the Virgo is like, you have to do these things, like, just like always nagging the Pisces. It's hard to watch, but I don't know any Virgos who have not ended up eventually settling down with a Pisces. Like, I don't know any Virgos who are with a Capricorn for, you know, a long-term marriage or anything like that. It's just Virgos are always with Pisces, and what I've seen in my personal life. I know Pisces who are with signs other than Virgos, but I don't know Virgos who are with signs other than Pisces.
Interesting. Yeah, I personally feel Virgo and Pisces is one of the best combos to the top three. They, especially since both of them, you could argue are like they have all the other sign traits before them, and then they stand at the last signs of each axis.
Mm-hmm.
It just is really funny to see a Virgo chew out a Pisces because they're not organized like that.
A lot of
Or
times
if it's the other way around.
but I stick it out.
Yeah. So it's your turn.
Oh gosh, I don't know what to ask now. I had one question.
That's why you're in the hot seat.
Oh, no.
Catch you off guard.
Here, let me try to look at something to give me ideas. Let's get this like wheel thing out that I have. Free advertisement for Astro Reader. That's what this is.
That's pretty dope.
Okay, let's see. Would you rather be stuck in a room with two Leos fighting for like attention and the admiration of everyone in the world, or would you rather try to work with an Aries?
Try to work with an Aries.
You want to do that?
Oh, you know what? I don't. I think just once. I mean, it at first seems like something that, okay, I'll work with an Aries, it's no problem. And then you work with an Aries, and it's like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? I'm trying to plan all this stuff, but this person just wants to go ahead and do their idea and not. And then before you have the chance to like consult the team with it, oh, well, I already did it, so you're just gonna have to handle it. And it's like, it works out for me though because my Mars is in Aries, so more often than not, like I can like vibe with whatever they're wanting to do, but then I guess the Capricorn in me will help me like compromise. I would have to choose that because being with two Leos would be super fun at first, and then after like 30 minutes, it'll just get so old and so annoying. And it's like, you guys really need to stop. But they will never stop. They'll just keep going, and they'll just keep trying to impress and outdo the other long after anyone cares anymore.
Yeah.
And it'd just get completely ugly. And I'd have to be stuck with them. So I don't know if I'd have to start wishing that I was with this Cancer who's killing me slowly. Yeah, I'd have to choose the Aries because at least with the Aries, the work will be done quickly. And then when they finally can't, since Aries don't really finish off stuff, when they're finally done and ready to hand it over, we can fix their mistakes and continue.
Okay, so you just want to avoid like the slow torture. Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, because that's slow torture. Sounds to me with two Leos.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was with one Leo the other day when I started doing. I think it was like the second background acting gig I had. Was it the first or the second? It was the first one. Yeah. And this one Leo started freestyling, and like we were all in our corner, and he started freestyling and engaging everyone else in the room and acting like he was literally on a show, like trying to gain everyone's attention. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, this is too extra. I didn't say that. I mean, it was funny. But it was one Leo, it wasn't two Leos. It was another one doing that. I would have just had to walk away because it'd be like, all right, it's a little bit too rash right there. But it was fun, though. So, what should I ask? Would you rather live? I just started researching like areas and how they embody different zodiac signs. Like I just learned France was a Leo country, and of course America's a Cancer country. So, if you had that choice, let's say you didn't want to relocate, what sign area would you want to live in? Would you want to live in a Virgo place or a Leo place or a Cancer place?
I've actually looked into this a lot, and especially since I've moved around a lot, I have a lot of experience with this. I mean, given any option, I would rather live in a place that has its sun in either Aries or Sagittarius, because I find if they're at the specific degree where they can trine my sun, then that tends to be a place that I really like.
So it's almost as if it feels like it not necessarily expands you, but it does feel pleasant, like if you go to vacation around there and whatnot.
Yeah, it does. And right now I live in a place that has its sun in Aries, and I just liked it here immediately. I like the people, even though sometimes they're like a little bit rude and impatient and they drive like maniacs.
Virginia is an Aries place?
Huh? Yeah, it's an Aries.
Nice. Okay.
I honestly couldn't say why I really like it here. I just naturally do. And I think that's what happens when you have that trine with the suns.
Nice. I've been really feeling like going to Paris, though I heard the pickpocketing there is horrible. But other than that, it's a pretty nice place.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You heard that what is horrible?
Oh, and Paris, apparently they have a really bad pickpocketing problem, and you got to be careful about keeping your personals like safe with you. But other than that, it's a pretty wonderful place.
Did you say Paris was a Leo?
Yeah, Leo City, or it's the Leo place.
That's funny. I never thought Leo would be pickpocket. I would have expected that more from Sagittarius.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Though someone did tell me the city is like Uranus and Jupiter combined.
Huh. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense because Jupiter could be like fortune and wealth and stuff, and Uranus is like rebellion, so
Yeah, true that.
if you want to look at it from like a biological point of view, though, like cats are thieves, like lions steal their food from hyenas, so it does kind of make sense.
Interesting. I thought they would just eat the hyena and all that. But yeah, I didn't know they steal their food.
Yeah, everyone thinks lions are so great. They're the jerks of the jungle.
Oh, the lion's here. We need to run away. Hurry up.
Yeah. Oh boy, now I have to come up with another question. Okay.
I think it'll be your last one.
Oh, okay. Whew. Whip this right off. What planet would you want to live on, knowing like the personality of the planets?
Yeah.
Oh, that is such a good question. I like to consider myself, I mean, I like to consider myself an earthling, right? But my chart would probably tell you I'm a Venusian because it rules my chart. I would say I was like a Venusian ambassador who frequents Mercury and Earth a lot. But I would rather live in Jupiter because there's always a party on Jupiter. Like, who doesn't want to be just getting screwed up on Mai Tais or vodka cranberries at Jupiter, partying all night long, and then all day.
A space nomad or traveler or whatever.
Yeah, that's before the asteroid belt too, so that would be pretty cool. I would say no, I wouldn't want to be on Uranus. Yeah, I would say Jupiter. I'd rather be on that planet. Just because I really love that energy and Sagittarius energy too. It's pretty fun.
I'm gonna ask you another question.
That's a really good question.
Okay, so your name like the peace dealer, like what is that? Like you stand in the alleyway and you're like, hey man, you want some peace?
I'm so glad you brought that up because yeah, that's one of the vibes I get from it. Like, yeah, I'm on the streets dealing peace to people. I don't actually want to do a skit like that one day where it looks like I'm pitching some dope, but it's really just like peace that's being doled out. But yeah, that's one of the inspirations of it. Yeah, that's the kind of drug ideal, peace.
Mm-hmm. But then it also makes me think like maybe you could be like sort of like smiting people with peace, just like peace, 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 or something. Like if they're fighting, just like bam.
I'm the enemy of chaos and confusion.
Yeah.
I just come strapped with my peace, take it to them. I'm in the middle of a gang war, actually.
The peace gang.
A peace gang. I'm looking for recruits right now.
Gonna hit people with love.
Gang
hug them. Gang hug them.
Gang hugs. This is awesome. That'll be crazy. Wow, you just tripped me. I'm gonna be thinking about this all day.
Yeah, you should do a video about that. It'd be funny.
Yeah. Skit in the works. You guys have been forewarned. So, final question. Would you rather, if you had to kill Who did we mention? Would you rather kill a Libra, or would you rather kill
Please don't say Sagittarius.
Gemini? But you only have one bullet left in your gun. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but that's the actual stipulation.
Yeah, because I totally want to kill more than one people. I just like, I seem like the kind of person who's just gonna run around shooting everyone.
No, Penny, you only have one bullet.
Okay, I only have one bullet, so apparently, like, this is my day to kill this one person. Okay. Trying to kill a Libra sounds like a nightmare because they would just like charm and manipulate the shit out of me, and I just imagine they'd look at me with like these sparkly eyes and be like, "No, Penny, don't kill me." I can't do it. And then like, I guess the Gemini would just be like talking so much they'd get scared or whatever. Like, oh my God, someone's gonna kill me. Oh my God, please don't kill me. I have so much to live for. Blah, blah, blah. You gotta let me like pay my rent and like do all this stuff. I didn't get to finish my life. Please, Penny, no. And I just get so annoyed. I'd probably just be like, okay, I have no choice but to pick the Gemini.
You just shoot them on accident because they talk so much, like, oh.
Oh yeah, maybe I just get frustrated and I could say it was an accident.
Yeah, I totally agree with the Libra just charming your pants off.
Yeah.
And somehow getting the gun from you, and it's like, wait, what? How did you get this gun from me?
What this Libra could manipulate, loving them. Like, give me a bunch of compliments, and since I'm a Leo, I'd just be like, oh, you are my one true love. I know that you love me.
Yeah, clockwork. That's why I'm jealous of Libra, because they have the charm we want to have, and they don't have it. But
Libra too.
yeah, it's one of those signs right there. So before we close out, I would like to ask you, what advice do you have for people who want to get into astrology or open up their minds and get into other alternative sciences and beliefs?
Good question. My advice would just really be committed to it and apply it to your own real personal life, because that's where you can get the most unique experiences. Just, know that it's everywhere, and opportunities to learn are all around you.
Very, very, very true. I 100% agree. There's literally like no excuse to say you can't learn something new, which is why I love the times that we're in. Like, the information is just everywhere. So, that being said, thank you so much, Penny, for joining me and being my guest. This was awesome.
Thank you. I've always been hoping someone would interview me someday because, I'm a Leo and I want to be acknowledged as being important. And, like, you made me feel important, so thank you.
That's what I'm here for, to shine light on you people working hard to, really change people's lives. So I put your YouTube channel on the description, but is there anywhere else people could reach you if they want a reading or if they want to talk to you?
Yeah, www.penny-astrology.com if you want a reading.
All right, and with that being said, I'm going to close out of here. Join me tomorrow for another Leo I'm going to interview. And I'll see you then. Peace.